Um,
That's okay. What kind of case is Mr. Dupree's case?
it's out of county.
Oh, okay.
And then we also, Madam Clerk, we have a add-on Spanish, but he's also on the move-up list. But we found out he's need a Spanish interpreter. Nieves, Carlos Nieves. He's on the move-up list. So
Okay. I'm trying to find the out-of-county stuff. Bear with me. What'd she say, Dupree? Oh, I see it. Okay. All right, I can go ahead and do Mr. Dupree's case really quickly if the attorney's ready to proceed.
he's not ready, Your Honor.
He's not ready? Okay. Let me know when they are. And then we're starting with Spanish, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me go ahead and add the Spanish interpreter then.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Great, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and call the first case. Sir, good morning. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Which courtroom are we on? Sorry.
You're remoting into courtroom 2.
Thank you.
Sí, no me escucho. No me escucho. Sí, no me escucho. Sí, está llamando por inglés. Yo no escucho inglés, solo español.
Your Honor, just to the jail, the interpreter doesn't have a visual yet. The interpreter can hear the defendant, but like he's far away. The interpreter wonders whether maybe he should be closer to a
To
microphone.
the mic. Dexter, can you pull that mic closer for him? Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. Sir, please tell me your name.
Sí, tú sí.
Is that to mine?
Arnulfo Méndez Chennai.
Arnulfo Méndez tonight.
This is case number 20 CF 6653. Sir, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for neglect of a child. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any unsupervised contact with your daughter. You are to abide by any DCF requests or investigations. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription. Your bond is going to be set at $500. And I also need to inform you that you have an immigration hold. Thank you, sir.
Sí, estoy con migración.
Yes, immigration is after me.
Okay, thank you. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Buenos días, Alfonso Ramírez.
Good morning, Alfonso Ramirez.
Mr. Ramirez, you're here in 20 CT 734. You were arrested for no valid driver's license. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Ramirez, did you want to resolve your case today?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form?
Yes. Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
Yo nada más quería decirle que yo tuve que agarrar el carro porque tenía que ir al trabajo.
All I want to say is that I had to get in the car because I had to go to work.
Ya
Sir, yes, I understand. I was asking you, though, if you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form that you're giving up today.
No.
No,
Are you on probation?
No.
no.
And you understand that this plea will subject you to deportation.
Sí.
And he does
Yes.
have an immigration hold, Your Honor.
Yes. Mr. Ramirez, I do have to inform you that you do also have the immigration hold. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those will be due by June 3rd of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Carlos Omar Nieves Cosme.
Carlos Omar Nieves Cosmel.
Pardon me, sir. Tell me your name again.
Carlos Omar Nieves Cosme.
Carlos Omar Nieves Cosmel.
I don't have that case.
It was in the move ups, Your Honor. It's an out of county.
All right. Let me keep going. Pass the arraignments. No.
It was in the move up list first, y'all.
Cameo Eugene Bannister? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Carlos Omar? No.
Sí.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, it says English. Okay. Got it. Got it. All right, sir. You are here in case number 19MM9358. You failed to appear for pretrial back in February of this year. How many days does Mr. Nieves have?
He has 2 days, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Nieves, did you want to resolve your case this morning?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form?
No.
No.
All right. I'll need you to take a look at the plea form. They're going to hand it to you there in court. Once you finish reading it, let me know, and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
And he actually has 6 days. For
Oh,
on the
thank you,
original.
Courtney. Thank you.
Oh, sí, ya lo había leído antes.
Oh, yes. I had already read it. I read it before, yes.
Ms. Fusco, is there any restitution in this case?
I don't have the full records.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Porque yo había ido a la corte y el abogado me dijo que no tenía que entrar.
Yeah, I actually did go to the courthouse, but the attorney told me that I didn't have to go inside the courtroom.
All right, sir. I understand. Did you still want to resolve your case today?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you read the plea form?
Sí, lo había leído anteriormente. Sí.
Yes, I had already read it.
All right. Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No.
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
No.
Do you understand that this plea will subject you to deportation?
¿Cómo deportación?
What do you mean being deported?
I'm sorry, sir. If you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation. Do you understand?
Oh, sí, ahora sí.
Oh, yes, I understand now.
All right. Thank you, sir. At this time, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 6 days in the county jail. You've got credit for 6 days time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those will be due by June 3rd of 2021. You will also have to pay restitution. I'm going to order it and reserve as to the amount and allow the state of Florida 60 days to provide that amount. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
Ok. ¿Y cuánto sería que saldría? ¿Hoy mismo saldría o no?
So would I be able to get out today?
If you have no other holds, yes.
Ok, está bien. Gracias.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Was that the last Spanish case?
It was, Your Honor.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter, for your help.
You're very welcome, Your Honor.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
All right, good morning. Your name?
Jamel Levi.
Mr. Levi, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County. It's related to battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting officer with violence. Your bond at this time is set at none. We will reach out to Marion County to see if the judge in that case would like to make any modifications. In the meantime, I will appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you in coordinating with your attorney in Marion County. On your Orange County case, at this time, I'm not going to take any action. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Judge. For the record, Attorney Jay Ruth. I'm here on behalf of Joel Dupree.
Hi, good morning. All right, this is case number, it's actually an out-of-county warrant from Polk County. It's a VOP related to resisting with violence and possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. Go ahead, Mr. Ruth.
Yes, Judge. We're just asking the court to even just keep this on the docket or give us a status date out, like, let's say a week or a week and a half out, just so we don't lose track of this.
Sure, so let me kind of explain to you. I don't know that I've seen you since
No.
this all started. On these out-of-county cases, we do have a work group. All these cases are flagged in the morning. So as I'd explained to Mr. Dupree, today an email will go out to the issuing judge in Polk County in this case, asking if they would like to modify the release conditions or set a bond.
Excellent.
Now that we have you, normally I would appoint a lawyer to represent them to help coordinate with Polk County, but you are absolutely able to reach out to Polk County in the meantime and kind of help facilitate that.
Excellent.
And then what I would normally tell Mr. Dupree is once we hear back from the home jurisdiction, we bring the defendant back to court and let them know what the response was from the judge. That doesn't mean you can't file a motion. It's more of just
Right.
kind of a, hey, judge, did you want to do anything in the meantime before Mr. Ruth can file a motion?
Excellent. Thank you, Judge. And will we get notice of that?
Yes, you will. So, and I'm actually the judge assigned to those matters. So
Okay.
now that I know it's you, when the spreadsheet comes out this morning, I will make a note that he's represented by you.
Okay.
And when I hear back from Polk County, this will be Judge Jacobson, who's actually handling those matters in Polk County.
Okay.
Who's helping facilitate to the other judges. I will have my JA let you know the response and then when he'll be set. So the day that we get the response back, let's say I hear back this afternoon or tomorrow, we put them on the following morning.
Excellent.
Unless we get an order back, like sometimes the judge will just sign an order. And if we get an order that sets a bond, we just forward that to corrections and he would be able to bond out without a hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay? Good morning.
Daryl Smith for the record on behalf of Joselito Martinez Gonzalez.
Hello, Mr. Smith. This is case number 20 CF 6876.
Yes, Your Honor, and the
Mr.
victim is present.
Okay, Mr. Martinez Gonzalez, you were arrested for aggravated assault, domestic violence, in violation of an emergency order curfew. And there's also a violation of probation in 16 CF 110 based upon the allegations in the new law case. Mr. Smith, did you want to be heard at all as to probable cause?
No, Your Honor, all I would like to say is that the victim is present. She did file a declination yesterday.
Okay. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Tanya Worcester.
All right, ma'am. Do you want to have contact with Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, he's the father of our children, and if you see in the declination, I was upset when I called the police. He didn't do anything to me. The injuries I have are from a car accident, and I have the medical proof to prove it. I got into it yesterday when he was currently incarcerated.
Okay. Mr. Smith, did you file that declination?
Yes, Your Honor, I filed it yesterday afternoon. I don't know if it's in the system yet, but I did file it around, I would say, 1, 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
All right. Let me take a look. Ms. Joselito, do you live together?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I did. I haven't had a chance to respond to you. Thank you. I don't have a copy. I don't have a, it's not been scanned into Odyssey yet, so I don't have the benefit of that declination.
Your Honor, if you want, I don't know how quickly I could get it to you, but I could share it with you or send it to your email address.
Do you have it with you?
I do. I could share
Could
it.
you read it? Could you read it?
I can, Judge, if may I read off my phone?
Sure.
All right, Judge, I have it.
Okay.
Nothing happened. I made it all up because he cheated on me. We have 3 children. I was upset with him and I made a bad decision. I apologize for my wrongdoing. I was at a friend's house, I believe it says, and he came to get me because he was worried about my well-being. I was not answering, so he assumed I was hurt and had to come check. I have a history of a heart condition, and that's the end of the declination, Judge. It's signed June 2nd, 2020, notarized by Cynthia Nackmis, Notary Public.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The court does find probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $1,000. Bond on count 2 will be set at $100. Based upon the testimony in court along with the declination, I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Joselito. Do you understand what that means, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. There is probable cause for the violation of probation based upon the new law offense. And Mr. Martinez-Gonzalez is a violent felony offender of special concern, so he's not entitled to a bond. I can't give him a bond on the VOP. He has to You have to file a motion in Division 19, and there'll have to be a hearing on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
So at this time, the bond on the VOP is set at none.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Judge.
You too. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Timothy Frey Jr.
Mr. Frey, this is 20 CF 6893. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for lewd or lascivious molestation of a victim 12 years of age or younger. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Your Honor, we just asked the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, including admissions on the last page of the affidavit, to find proof evident or presumption great and hold the defendant without bond.
All right, and you're referring to the defendant's admission on page 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Your Honor, we defer the matter to the court.
Thank you. At this time, the state has met their burden, Mr. Frey, to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. At this time, your bond will remain at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 11 to see if the judge would like to exercise discretion in setting a bond. You're not to have any contact with the victim or her family members, and you are not to have any contact with any children under the age of 18. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Ramsey Moore, can you pass him for a few minutes?
Pass, Mr. Moore?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Morning, Gene Huang Park.
Mr. Park, you are here for violating your conditions of pretrial release in 20 CF 3030. At this time, your bond is set at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 22 to see if Judge LeBlanc would like to set a bond.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Rule.
Good morning.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 6906. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and trespass on property other than a structure or a conveyance. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the Circle K. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500. Your bond on count 2 will be $100. Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Ronald Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, this is case number 20MM4038. You were arrested for stalking and attempted battery. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Your Honor, may we be heard on a PC challenge?
Yes, you may.
As to the attempted battery charge, there are no specifics in the affidavit stating where the attempted battery occurred or where it occurred.
I never approached this woman. I'm not
Mr. Taylor, I just want to caution you and I want to warn you. I know that you want to explain what happened, but today's not the day for that, okay? Everything that's happening in this courtroom is recorded and could be used later, okay? So today I'm just going to review the affidavit and determine your conditions of release, okay? You'll have a chance to explain on another day.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Was that the end of your argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you want to respond, Ms. Fusco?
Just in the 5th paragraph down, she described an incident where he attempted to grab at her, and it's been happening for months. She's afraid for her life.
So the court finds, I don't see the probable cause for the stalking. When I reviewed the affidavit, there were no specific threats that are contained within the affidavit. The officer references a report that I don't have. And I don't think it meets the elements of the stalking statute. I also wanted to look up, I don't know that there is an attempted battery. I think that is an assault.
did not try to do anything to her.
Mr. Taylor, just give me 1 minute, okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, since the officer said that he was familiar with the incident and that the victim had placed multiple calls to Orlando Dispatch, we would ask to get supplementation of those prior reports as to, it relates to the stalking, and ask for more specifics from the officer regarding the attempt at a grab as to where it occurred and additional facts.
Are you requesting 24 hours to provide additional probable cause information?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, he qualifies for PTR.
Yes, I'm just trying to look at the battery statute. All right, so I'm going to find no probable, or I'm going to, at this time, no probable causes to count one, provide the state 24 hours to provide additional information. Count two, I find probable cause for an assault, which is a lesser included offense of a battery, and the statute is 784.011. Yeah. Assault? I'm going to also place Mr. Taylor on pretrial release. Mr. Taylor, you're going to be released later today. The pretrial release officer is going to come talk to you, and they're going to explain to you exactly what it is that you're going to need to do to be in compliance with the court's order. I am going to order that you're not to have any contact with the victim, Miss Lewis. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So this won't be reset for tomorrow?
If you want to provide information, you can, but I'm still going to place him on PTR.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Cameo Bannister.
Mr. Bannister, you were arrested in 20 MO 663 for disorderly conduct. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Are you challenging the probable cause in this case?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Ms. Fusco?
Yes, Your Honor. There are a series of these that are going to be coming at the latter part of session that are for disorderly conduct involving, I think, the same incident. And we are just asking the court to release them ROR, and then we are going to get the supplemental report later that's referenced in the affidavit.
Your Honor, I just wanted to put on the record that we're requesting ROR.
Sure. So, Mr. Bannister, at this time, there's not probable cause for the offense of disorderly conduct, but I want you to know that later on, you will probably receive a summons from the state of Florida to appear in court. If you fail to appear, you will be arrested, sir. At this time, I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case. Thank you.
So, do I get to go home?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
You
Your
do.
Honor. God bless you.
Yeah. No PC. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Hi, Ashley Garland.
Miss Garland, you're here in 20 MM 1753. This is your arraignment for the offense of petty theft with a prior conviction and resisting merchandise recovery. You are represented by the public defender. How would you like to proceed?
What am I supposed to say?
Just a minute, Miss Garland. I'm talking to your attorney. I'll be right back with you, okay?
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, we're waiting on a global plea offer from the state.
Oh, does she have another case?
Yes, she does.
Is that also something that we can take care of here? Is it a misdemeanor?
Sorry, if you can just give me one moment.
Sure.
Thank you. I just received an email from our APD. Yes, Your Honor, we're going to wait until she gets a global plea offer. She has another case, 20 CF 0327.
Okay. All right. So you're going to want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, please.
Sure. So, Ms. Garland, your attorneys informed me that you also have a pending felony matter, and they're trying to work out a global plea in that case and in this case. So at this time, she's entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. I'm going to give you a court date. You are going to be, what division is this? It's not on there. It's going to be 81. Okay. Ms. Garland, you're going to be in Division 81. That's in front of Judge McGinnis. Your pretrial conference is July 24th at 9 a.m., and that's courtroom 4E. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jermaine Brown.
Mr. Brown, this is 20 MM 3994, your arraignment for the offense of trespass in a structure. You are represented by the public defender. How would he like to proceed?
Enter a plea of not guilty.
Mr. Brown, your attorney has just entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Your next court date is going to be July 24th in Division 81 in front of Judge McGinnis. It'll be at 9 a.m. in courtroom 4E. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning. Abel Anthony Gomez.
Mr. Gomez, this is 20 MM 3252. This is your arraignment for resisting officer without violence. You are represented by the public defender, and how would he like to proceed?
Your Honor, we'd enter a plea of not guilty.
Mr. Gomez, your attorney has just entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Your next court date is going to be in Division 81. Pretrial conference is July 24th at 9 a.m. in courtroom 4E in front of Judge McGinnis.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Matthew Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, you're here in 20 MM 427. This is your arraignment for the offense of resisting officer without violence. How would Mr. Hamilton like to proceed?
I believe the state said that he could be PTR'd today. No, we actually offered. Oh, sorry. I thought I'm so sorry about that. Yes, he's okay to plea.
All right. Mr. Hamilton, did you want to enter a plea on your case today?
He's on probation, Your Honor.
Okay. So given the fact that you're on probation, Mr. Hamilton, I'm assuming that your lawyer would advise you not to enter a plea today and enter a plea of not guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Hamilton, I'm going to give you a court date in this matter, which is going to be in Division 81 in front of Judge McGinnis, pretrial conference. No? Oh, got it. I misspoke. You're going to be in front of Judge Allen. That's Division 85. Pretrial conference is going to be July 13th at 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4A.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton.
All right.
Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
Melanie Soto.
Ms. Soto, this is 20 MM 3904. This is your arraignment for the offenses of resisting officer without violence and possession of drug paraphernalia. How would Ms. Soto like to proceed?
Your Honor, this is the one the state said they would PTR today.
She has 40 days credit time served. Is there a reason she can't enter? Ms. Soto, did you want to enter a plea on your case today?
No, ma'am.
You do not? Okay. Courtney, does she qualify for pretrial release?
She was not interviewed when she came in, and she was out on bond when she came in. I believe this is the out on bond case.
I know this is the other one. Should I enter a plea, Your Honor?
Well, I can't give you that advice, Ms. Soto. That's something you'd have to talk to a lawyer about. But this is your arraignment, so it's not a bond hearing. That's I'm confused about the offer of PTR, which
She
is
did
something
say I
that,
could enter a plea of guilty, but that the court would drop the paraphernalia charge, and I'll just have resisting officer without violence if I did
Well,
that.
Ms. Soto, that's a conversation that you have to have with your lawyer. The court doesn't have the authority to drop any charges. I don't know if the state is making an offer on this case or not.
There has been some discussions back and forth with the ASA from our office, from somebody from the public defender's office on her behalf, and my understanding was that they hadn't kind of reached an agreement and that they had agreed to allow her PTR if she qualified.
All right, Courtney, could I have Ms. Soto interviewed for pretrial release, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Did you want to keep the bonds the same or PTR?
Yes. Yes, it'll be, the bonds are the same because this is her arraignment. So at this time, is the defense entering a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Soto, I'm going to give you a court date in the event that you do not qualify for PTR. And your next court date is going to be June 22nd at 8:30 a.m. That's Division 61 with Judge Johnson in courtroom 6C.
Okay, is there any reason why I wouldn't qualify for it?
I don't have enough information in front of me to know. So they're going to come interview you today. As long as you can provide them with where you're going to live and verify your ties to the community and you don't have a significant criminal history, there should be no reason why you don't.
Okay.
Okay?
How much is the bond?
I don't know what your bond is at this time. Just a second.
The total bond is $1,350.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Ms. Soto.
Okay.
Good morning. Your name?
Morgan Marinello.
Ma'am, you are here for a writ regarding child support. At this time, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. When you're released, you're going to be given an order that explains how you need to call in for your hearing. Your hearing is July 6th at 2:30 p.m. If you fail to call in as required, there will be a warrant issued for your arrest.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name?
George Silva.
Mr. Silva, you are here for a violation of probation in 13 MM 5046 related to stalking domestic violence. At this time, sir, your bond is set at none. It's alleged that you did not follow the instructions of your probation officer and failed to keep your appointments in May of 2014. You didn't pay the cost of supervision of $50 per month. You're $150 behind, and you failed to enroll in the batterers intervention program within 30 days of sentencing. Sir, at this time, you'll need to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 50 to see if you can get a bond. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
My name is Victor Herrera.
Mr. Herrera.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in 20 CF 6892. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause capias. Where did I set that? Remember? Oh, there it is. The state has since filed a 3-count information charging you with aggravated stalking after an injunction, violation of a sentencing order of no contact, and violation of domestic violence injunction by communicating or contacting. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are to abide by any orders that are currently in place and the injunction in 12 DR 11598. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000. Bond on count 2 will be $10,000. Bond on count 3 will be $100. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Joseph Rollins, ma'am.
Mr. Rollins, you are here in case number 20 CF 6895. You were arrested for battery, 1 prior domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness present for Mr. Rollins?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rollins, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms. I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. and I'm not going to revoke your out on bond form at this time.
Can you repeat that, Your Honor? I didn't catch the last part.
Your bond is $2,500, and I'm not going to revoke your bond at this time. Do you have any questions at all about the no contact order?
No, ma'am, I don't. You know what I mean? I'm sure you won't give me a chance to explain myself, so I'm just.
Well, it's not that I don't want to hear from you, sir, but I don't want anything to be used against you later. Did you read the order before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, sir, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Nosa Santiago.
Ms. Santiago, this is 20 CF 6909. You were arrested for ag assault with a firearm and battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Santiago?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Santiago, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Ms. Santiago, did the police take the firearm?
No, I didn't have a firearm.
It says that when they arrived, the firearm, and I'm not saying if you did or you didn't have one, I see that they saw one in the home that was unloaded in the gun case on the top shelf of the bedroom closet.
Okay, that's not mine.
Do you own any firearms, ma'am?
I do.
Okay, so you'll need to surrender those within 6 hours of your release from the jail to the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Make sure you call them before you go. You can't just show up to the police station with the firearms, and they'll explain to you what you need to do to make that arrangement.
Okay.
I'll also allow you to return to the home one time to get your things if needed with law enforcement. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay. Ma'am, but the apartment is under my name.
I understand. So if he is not there, then you're allowed to be there, but I can't make him leave. Okay. So if he's moved out or moved on, you're able to be there, but if he's home, you can't be there.
Okay.
You understand?
No, I understand.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, it's clear.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I can't see. Is that my signature? Okay.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Aisha Brown.
Ms. Brown, this is 20MM4039. You were arrested for battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there a witness for Ms. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to set your bond at $500. At this time, I'm going to revoke the bonds in 20 CF 5836 and 20 MM 1114. Those are going to be set at none.
So that means I can't get out?
Not today, ma'am. You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in those divisions to see if the trial judge would like to set a bond. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
Jaleesa Chambers.
Ms. Chambers, you are here in case number 20MM4036. You were arrested for battery, dating violence.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Chambliss?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Chambliss, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Ms. Chambliss, is there a reason why you didn't cooperate with the pretrial release staff when they came to interview you for the program?
No one interviewed me, ma'am. No one.
Okay.
I don't even know how the whole process works. This is my first time ever even, getting in trouble or anything. Oh, sorry. This is my first time ever even getting in trouble or anything. So I don't even know how the whole process works, but that's no problem.
Okay, so let me explain something too. The notes that I have here is that the pretrial person was calling you to talk to you about a program, and you were on the phone. But I'm going to ask them to come talk to you again. So if someone asks you to speak with them,
Ma'am,
you need to comply.
No one asked me. I wouldn't. I wouldn't deny to speak with no one. No one talked to me at all.
All right, but just in the future when they come to talk to you today, please cooperate with them if you would like to be on the pretrial release program. I'm going to set bond at PTR, or in the alternative, I'll set it at $500, but I want PTR to be the primary if she qualifies. Ms. Chambliss, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. Will I be able to get released today? Because I work for Hilton and I am really close to losing my job. I had to do a no call, no show yesterday. The police
Yes,
officer.
ma'am. So that's what I'm saying to you is pretrial release is going to come interview you.
Okay. Like I said, I don't
All
know
right.
the whole process. I don't know how.
Sure. If you qualify, you'll be released today. Otherwise, you're going to have to post the bond.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Chavez. His behavior.
All right. That's 20MM4045. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Chavez's appearance based upon his inability to come to court due to his behavior and appoint the public defender to represent him. I do find probable cause for battery, domestic violence, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. Bond on count 1 will be set at $500. Bond on count 2 at $100. Is there a witness present for Mr. Chavez?
No, Your Honor.
All right. He's not to have any contact with the victim. He's to maintain a separate residence, and he's not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you need any additional? You got it? No contact, separate residence, no weapons, 500, 100. Yes. Behavior. I apologize, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
My name is James Marcellus.
Mr. Marcellus, this is 20MM4042. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Marcellus?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So there's still not not another camera over there for the witness box?
No, Judge.
All right. I'll follow up on that today. Ma'am, you said you could hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
All right. Raise your right hand, please, to be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got? Yes. Announce your name for the record. Vanilla Marcellus.
Ms. Marcellus, do you want to have contact with your husband?
Only for his daughter. Because we
Okay,
have
how
two
many-
kids together.
You have 2 kids?
Yes. And then I have another one that's not even for him.
I see. How old are your kids?
The first one, she's gonna be 9 in December. The second one, she's gonna be 4 in August. The third one, she's gonna be 6 months on the 17th.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have any concerns about your children's safety if I were to allow contact with their father?
Talking about him?
Correct.
I don't mind for him to have a visit with the baby, but he have to be on safety place. Because he don't really care about them.
Okay. All right. Mr. Marcellus, at this time, I'm going to order that you are not to have any contact with your wife. That no contact order does extend to your children, so you will have to have your lawyer file a motion to have that modified at a later time. You are to maintain a separate residence, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay. And I want him to pay the place for his daughter to live.
Pardon me?
I want him to pay the rent for his daughter to live.
So, ma'am, that's not something that I'm able to order today. You will have to have that issue addressed in family court.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Mr. Martell, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Baby.
What did you say?
Do you have any questions?
No.
No questions?
No.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Curtis William Murphy.
Mr. Murphy, this is 20MM264. You were arrested for battery domestic violence.
Yes,
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can announce your name for the record.
Victoria Zipper Coleman.
Ms. Coleman, what would you like to tell the court?
Firstly, their probable cause was because they said my lip was busted. As the officers can see, I have no injuries to me at all. We got in an argument yesterday in my mom's front yard. I provoked the most end of the argument, I will admit. He admitted to getting me out of my truck. He did not harmfully pull me out my vehicle. I have no marks. I told the police nothing physical happened. Like I said, I provoked the most end of the argument. We got in a fight. He came to take his truck back, which belongs to him. I was trying to stop him. My mom, I'm pretty sure it was my mom who called the police just because she saw us out there arguing. But when they arrived, we had actually settled the argument and he was getting ready to leave. He had already gotten his truck and pulled it to the stop sign, and he had his other vehicle, and he was on the way to leave when the police came. Like, we had settled everything. And like I said, I specifically told them nothing violent happened. He did pull me out of the truck, but he did not harm me in any way when he did. And it wasn't even hard enough to, like, leave any marks or anything on my arm. Like I said, he did nothing wrong, bless his heart. Him and I have been together for 3 years. We have no history of past violence. That man he would never lift a hand to me. And we have a 5-year-old son at home. I would like to continue contact with him because we do live together. We have shared bank accounts. We have a child. Like I said, this isn't normal for us. This is completely out of the norm. It's crazy.
Ms. Fusco, did you have any questions for the witness?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, at this time, I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Coleman. Do you understand what that means, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Mr. Murphy, do you have any firearms in the home?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Thank you.
So, ma'am, does that mean he will get out today?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. He's got to
You're
be
welcome.
work tomorrow. Thank you guys so much.
Good morning or good afternoon. Your name?
Denitra Willingham.
Ms. Willingham, you're here in 20MM4009. You were arrested for battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Willingham?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Please raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can announce your name for the record.
Robin Walker.
Ms. Walker, do you want to have contact with Ms. Willingham?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Do you want to continue living together?
Yes.
Do you have any children in the home?
No.
Ms. Willingham, how long have you been in a relationship with Ms. Walker? How long have you been in a relationship with Ms. Willingham?
On and off since 2017.
So 3 years?
Yes.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you during your 3-year relationship?
Arguing. Yes. No violence, really.
No violence. All right. Ms. Fusco, did you have any questions for the witness?
The prior arrest for battery domestic violence, you were not the victim?
I'm sorry. What was
You weren't a victim in another arrest for domestic violence?
It was us, but it wasn't really bad harm. They took us because they seen a little scratch. It wasn't like fighting harm. But we did come before it was with her.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Walker,
Yes.
you're not afraid of Ms. Willingham, is that correct?
No, I'm not. That's correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Willingham, at this time, I'm going to order that you are not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Walker. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I am going to place you on pretrial release.
Yes,
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Ephraim Manuel Baez Torres.
Mr. Baez Torres, you are here in case number 20 CF 6902. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You must contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Kyle Andrew Bendel.
Mr. Bendel, this is 20 CF 6924. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. There is, this was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the 7-Eleven or CVS on West Colonial Drive. You are not to have any contact with the victim or witnesses. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, Your Honor. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you. Are you Mr. Black?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Sir, this is 19 CF 7859. You failed to appear for case management conference back in September of 2019. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $1,000. If you'd like to have that modified, you'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 22.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
Carl Hansen.
Mr. Hansen, you are here in case number 20 CF 6884. You were arrested for driving while license suspended or revoked. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You are not to drive without a valid driver's license. You are to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail. And you are to appear at all court dates, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Stapled. There you go. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Matthew Hart.
Mr. Hart, this is 18 CF 18315. You failed to appear for jury trial on May 20th of 2019. Your release at this time has been revoked. Your bond is set at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 14 to see if the judge would like to set a bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name? Mr. Huey, you are here in case number 20 CF 6903. You were arrested for 5 counts of grand theft, less than $750, or more than $750, but less than $5,000. Excuse me.
I can't hear you, man. Could you repeat? Can you say it again?
So the officer put 5 counts, and then if you look at the affidavit, it only supports 4 counts of grand theft, $750 to $5,000. So I'm assuming that 1, 2, 3. So bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 will be $150. He'll be ROR'd on count 3. Bond on count 4 will be 150. Bond on count 5 will be 150. Sir, you are not to return to the scene. You are not to have any contact with any of the witnesses in this case.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Brooks Joyner, ma'am.
Mr. Joyner, you are here in case number 20 CF 6869. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $2,500, sir. You were also arrested in 20 MM 138 for resisting officer without violence. There's also probable cause. Your bond will be $100.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name? Sir?
Fred? Casey?
Mr. Kasich, you were here in case number 20 CF 6925. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine with intent, possession of drug paraphernalia, and introducing contraband into a county facility. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2, $100. Bond on count 3, $100. Thank you, Mr. Kasich. Good afternoon. Your name?
Anthony Lane.
Mr. Lane, you are here in 20 CF 6908. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree, possession of burglary tools, loitering or prowling, and criminal mischief. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to any UCF property or campus. You're not to have any contact with the victim. Bond on count 1 is $1,000. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $100. Bond on count 4, $100. Has the state filed information in the out on bond case? Oh, it looks like it's set for a plea. And Mr. Lane, are you set to enter a plea in this case on June 9th? On the out on bond case? On the other loitering and prowling?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Then I'm not gonna take any action on that case at this time.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Are you Mr. Powell?
Yes, ma'am. I have, well, I was wondering, could I ask you a brief question real fast?
Okay.
Okay, well, I have a bond on one of them. I think it's $200 for me to get out today, but with the but it said it's something holding me, so I guess I
Yeah. So Mr. Powell, I'll explain to you. Just give me a second, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you were arrested in 20 CF 6911 for possession of methamphetamine, destruction of evidence, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those offenses. You were also arrested in 20 CT 3446 for DUI, which there's also probable cause. Bond on the DUI will be set at $100. Bond in 6991 count 1 will be $1,000. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $100. Bond on count 4, $100. Mr. Powell, you have 2 cases that you're already out on bond for.
Yeah.
And that's why you have the hold. So at this time, those bonds are being revoked. They're going to be set at none. You're going to have your lawyer file a motion to see if the judge wants to reset a bond in those cases.
But see, I'm fighting that case way from last year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And last time I came, I forgot which lawyer it was that I spoke to, and it said it was okay because I stayed out of trouble for so long. and it's been a year now. I've been fighting
Yeah,
that case.
I don't have any of that information, Mr. Paul. You'll have to talk to your lawyer about that, and they'll have to file a motion. All right? Thank you, sir.
So right now, right now I'm on a no bond status. I can't bond out.
Right, on your 2 old cases. On your 2 old cases, you need to call your lawyer and have them file a motion. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Alex Max Caliche.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 6865. You were arrested for sexual battery not likely to cause injury. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are not to have, is there a witness present in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Mr. Caliche, how long have you lived in Central Florida?
The current address 2210 Sedgegrass Way is a house I just bought. I just purchased a couple months ago. In Central, I've been in Orlando, Florida all my life.
Okay. You said you just purchased a home here in Orlando?
Yes, ma'am. The 2210 Sedgegrass Way,
And you work for who?
Central Florida Toyota.
And how long have you worked there?
Almost 7 years, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have family in the area?
Yes, ma'am. My whole family's here.
All right. At this time, Mr. Caliche, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 along with the other conditions that I just imposed.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
So this is my first time getting arrested. So with the bond, I just pay a bail bond 10%, and the difference left over, what happens with that?
The bondsman will be able to explain all of that to you in detail.
Okay.
I can't really give you any information about that. I'm not allowed to do that. But if you call any of the local bondsmen, they'll be able to explain it to you. And I also appointed the public defender to represent you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Raymond Mercutio Ramos.
Mr. Ramos, you have 2 cases this afternoon, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You've got 20 CF 6016. You were arrested for grand theft, 3rd degree, pursuant to a probable cause warrant. You are not to have any contact with the victim or return to the scene. Bond is $2,000. You have case number 20 CF 6850, you were arrested for home invasion robbery with a firearm. This was also pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
I just asked the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit to find proof evident or presumption great and hold him with no bond.
Your Honor, we defer the matter to the court.
All right. So, Mr. Ramos, at this time, the state has met their burden based upon the information that's contained in the sworn affidavit for your arrest to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. So your bond on the robbery case is going to remain at none. You will have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in the trial division to see if the judge would like to exercise discretion to grant a bond in that case. You are not to have any contact with any of the witnesses, victims, or co-defendants, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir.
Your Honor, he also has a out on bond case.
Oh, okay. I don't have that form. Do you have a case number?
I have the case number 2020 CF 00128580.
Okay, let me just see. The date, that's 3/20.
Your Honor, can I ask a question, please?
You can ask me a procedural question, but I don't want you to ask me anything that relates to the facts of your case.
I'm just confused of all this. I read my paperwork and it said unconfirmed warrant, and I'm still like lost as to my whole charges.
As to what?
That's just everything. Like why I'm arrested.
I understand. Just give me 1 second. The offense date was January 29th on the out on bond form. So I'm going to revoke. You're already out on bond, Mr. Ramos, for petty theft, 2 priors. And that has an offense date of January 29th of 2020. So I'm going to revoke The bond in that case, that's going to be set at none. And then you have 2 warrants, and I don't know that you've been provided a copy of the actual affidavit, and that's probably why you're confused. But I imagine that your attorney is going to come see you very shortly and will be able to provide you with a copy of the facts that support the charges for which you've been arrested for, the 2 new cases. If I was in court with you today, if we were in person, I would provide you a copy of that, but I'm not there.
All right, ma'am.
All right, so contact their office when you get back to your dorm to see if they can come see you or send you a copy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Saint Armand.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 6928. You were arrested for robbery with a deadly weapon and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, along with petty theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Just ask the court to refer to all the facts in the arrest affidavit to find proof, evidence, or presumption grade and hold him with no bond.
Did the defense want to be heard?
No, Your Honor, we defer the matter to the court.
All right. So, sir, at this time, the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof, evident, or presumption great based upon the sworn affidavit for your arrest. Your bond on count 1 will remain at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 17 to see if the judge would like to set a bond as to count 1. Bond on count 2 is going to be $4,500. Bond on count 3 will be $100. Sir, you are not to return to the scene. You're not to have any contact with the victim or witnesses or possess any weapons or firearms.
Probable
Thank you,
cause?
sir.
I have a couple questions, ma'am.
Sure.
You said probable cause. Don't that mean like it's facts that's proven I was there? You know, since we can ask questions, it's a microphone here.
Probable cause just means that there's enough facts for a reasonable person to determine that the crime had been committed. It's not like a trial, okay? It's a much lower standard. Thank you, sir.
Wow. So if I wasn't there, that's probable cause.
That would be a defense, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon, good morning.
Tell me your name.
Christian Stillwell.
Mr. Stillwell, you're here in 20 CF 6828. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for home invasion robbery with a firearm. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
We would just again ask the court to rely on the facts in the arrest affidavit to find proof, evidence, or presumption grade and hold him without bond.
Did the defense want to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell, the state has met their burden at this time to establish that there's proof evident or presumption great based upon the facts that are contained in the sworn affidavit for your arrest. At this time, bond will remain at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 22 to see if the judge would like to set bond. You are not to have any contact with your co-defendants. You are not to have any contact with the victim or witnesses, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a nice one.
Guy on the docket, Turner, bonded.
Yes. Mr. Turner bonded, okay. Good afternoon, your name?
Jeremiah Waldron.
Mr. Waldron, sir, you are here pursuant to a warrant in 20 CF 6849. You were arrested for grand theft second degree and grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150, sir.
Okay, what about my VOP?
Just a second. I do not have a violation of probation in front of me. That doesn't mean that your probation officer won't file a VOP, but you don't have a...
He's already been seen on it.
Oh, okay. I don't have any information on that case, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
It's Yoash Errol.
Mr. Errol, you are here, sir, in 20 MM 141. You were arrested for petty theft, second degree, first offense. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Errol?
Defer to the court, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
Would defer to the court, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Errol, did you want to enter a plea in this case today?
If I'm able to resolve this today, Your Honor, yes, I would like to do that if it's a possibility.
Did you have a chance to read the plea form?
It's just a standard. Yes, I did. I understand what it means to enter no contest. It's right here in front of me. But as far as a plea, I don't know anything about a plea.
Well, today, if you wanted to plead no contest, I would adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You would have to pay court costs. I'm trying to find if the beer was recovered. I would also order restitution and allow the state to provide documentation within 60 days as to the amount of the beer if they didn't recover the merchandise, sir. Yes?
Yes. So if I may, Your Honor, they were able to recover the beer. It was recovered at the same time. It was 2 cases that was undamaged at the same time yesterday.
I understand, sir, and it's not that I don't believe you, but I'm still going to order it in reserve as to the amount and allow them to provide any documentation. They may come back and say there's none owed, and then at that point you wouldn't have to pay anything.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay. Also, Mr. Errol, you understand that petty theft is an enhanceable offense. So if you enter this plea today, you will be convicted, and the next time you are arrested for petty theft, the state could file it as a felony. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Given all the information I've provided to you today, do you still want to enter the plea?
And it would be a plea of no contest, and you're saying that I'll be adjudicated?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And you said time served for yesterday and today?
That's right.
Okay.
You can also talk to a lawyer about it and resolve it a different day.
I'll go ahead and resolve it today, Your Honor.
All right, sir. And you said you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am. It's right here in
And
front
you don't
of
have
me.
any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are you on probation?
No, Your Honor.
And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, and I will order restitution and reserve as the amount for 60 days. All those will be due, payments will be due by June 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, are you appointing the PD's office to these?
I'm actually not going to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jean Paul Anglero Alvarez.
So this is 20 MM 4023. You were arrested for petty theft. There's probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Alvarez?
I would defer to the court.
Is there a reason that you're not making any offers, Ms. Fusco?
This one has multiple arrests. I don't see any convictions, but I'm not sure of the status.
I just see his last conviction is for operating a car without a valid driver's license.
It's just arrest. The petty theft, multiple.
Do you have any objection to him resolving the case today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, did you want to enter a plea on your case today, or did you want to talk to a lawyer first? Did you want to enter a plea on your case today, or do you want to talk to a lawyer first?
And the plea?
Okay. Did you have a chance to read the plea form?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No.
Do you understand that the next time that you are arrested for petty theft, that is an enhanceable offense, and depending on your record, it could be an enhanced misdemeanor or a felony?
Yes.
You still want to proceed with the plea?
Yes.
All right. Are you on probation?
No.
And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to the Home Depot.
Yes.
You're going to have to pay court costs. Those are due by June 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Adam Sarlett.
Ms. Arnett, this is 20MM 4041. You were arrested for petty theft.
This one, Your Honor, it does look like there are prior convictions, and so we'd have no offer as it's enhanceable.
Okay. Ms. Arlett, you were arrested for petty theft. There's probable cause for that offense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You are to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release, and you are to appear at all court dates, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Good afternoon. My name is Shanique Barton.
Ms. Barton, this is 20MM 4040. You were arrested for providing false ID to law enforcement and for criminal mischief. I do find that there is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Barton, I do need to inform you that you do have an immigration hold at this time. You are also not to have any contact with the victim. In this case, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, and you must appear at all court dates, ma'am.
Your Honor, her ICE hold has been lifted.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Flowers, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Flowers, you are here in 20MM 4014. You were arrested for petty theft.
This one also, Your Honor, it looks like there are multiple convictions, so there'd be no offer as it's enhanceable.
It's multiple years ago. I'd say 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago since I've had one of these.
I understand, Mr. Flowers.
Your Honor, can we plead to the court?
Per the administrative order, if the state has an objection because it's an enhanceable offense, I cannot resolve a case at initial appearance.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Flowers, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release, and you must appear at all court dates.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to return to 6250 West Colonial Drive. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I'm not going to revoke your bond.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Veronica King.
Ms. King, this is 20MM 4028. You were arrested for petty theft.
Yes.
There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm assuming there's no offer for Ms. King. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. King, You are not to return to Walmart. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank
You
you.
must contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release, and you must appear at all court dates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That it?
Are you Mr. Marquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I think it's afternoon,
Yes, it is,
but
Your Honor.
I keep going back and forth. Court starts at an odd time right now. I'm just looking up your out on bond case, Mr. Marquez. All right, and information was filed in Mr. Marquez's other trespass case. Ms. Fusco, did you want to make an offer on that case? Both of the cases?
Do you know his time served for the prior case?
Looks like 2 days.
So on the prior case, adjudication of guilt, 2 days with 2 days credit time served. On the current case, adjudication of guilt, 3 days with 3 days. I guess he'll get out today. 2 days.
It would be 2 days. Yeah, he would have 2 days. Mr. Marquez, do you want to resolve both of your cases today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, Your Honor.
Are you on probation?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea in both cases on 20 MM 2790. Adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to the Circle K. And in MM 140, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You are not to return to Zaxby's. You'll have to pay court costs in both cases. Those are going to be due by June 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Nelson Ochoa.
Mr. Ochoa, this is 20 MM 4011. You were arrested for loitering or prowling in violation of an emergency order curfew. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir. I'm also going to put as a condition of that, do you have a job, Mr. Ochoa?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
Roofing repairs, Total Home Roofing.
What's your work schedule?
7 to 5.
7 to 5?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're going to be in the house from 7 p to 6 a.m. as a condition of your pretrial release. You're not to have any contact with any of the co-defendants in your case, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Amanda Padilla.
Ma'am, you're here in 20 MM 4013. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. There's no offer for Ms. Padilla? All right, ma'am. At this time, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You're not to return to 6250 West Colonial Drive. You must contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail. Ms. Padilla, did you want to resolve your possession of drug paraphernalia charge this afternoon?
Possibly.
Okay, it's the case you're out on bond for?
I'm not on, I was RR'd for
Or
it.
you were ROR'd?
It was 2 months ago. I had court the 15th.
Right. Did you want to go ahead and take a plea to that case today?
What was the offer?
It would be an adjudication of guilt 1 day in the county jail with credit for 1 day time served.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail. You've got credit for 1 day time served. You'll have to pay court costs. How many days? 2. I'm sorry. You have credit for 2 days time served, so I'll sentence you to 2 days with 2 days credit. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by June 4th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Afternoon. Your name?
Drake Perez.
Mr. Perez, this is case number 20MM4010. You were arrested for loitering or prowling in violation of the curfew. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendant. Mr. Perez, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
What's my uncle? At Sons Perez Landscape.
What are your work hours?
6 to 5.
6 a.m. to
Yeah.
5 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you'll be in the house from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. That's your curfew. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. 7 p. to 5 a.m. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Vanilla Santiago.
Ms. Santiago, this is 20MM4037. You were arrested for violating an injunction. There is probable cause, ma'am. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness in this case present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, can you hear me?
It's a female.
It's a female, Your Honor.
Oh, Miss Morales?
Yes, ma'am. Nicole Crespo.
Okay. Miss Crespo, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Nicole Crespo Morales.
Ms. Morales, what did you want to inform the court of?
There has been multiple occasions where the injunction I initially filed for has been trying to be broken. Every single time that happened, I informed the sheriff until they found that it was enough and they wanted to proceed and do an arrest.
Okay.
Anything
else?
Yes, sorry. For the record, I would want to actually extend the injunction if that was possible.
I don't have the ability to do that here. You'd have to go down to the courthouse and speak with someone there. I believe it's on the 3rd floor regarding your injunction.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome, ma'am. Ms. Santiago, I'm going to order again that you are to abide by the injunction in 20 DR 2053, which would include no contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Miss Santiago, I want to explain to you something.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you get arrested again for violating the injunction, it's possible that you won't be entitled to a bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I
and
understand.
then all right, thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, your name?
James Waples.
Mr. Waples, you're here in 20 MM 464. You were arrested for petty theft of a taxi cab. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Waples?
Oh, Your Honor, I have here that he's on probation.
Probation?
Are you on probation, Mr. Waples?
No, ma'am. I have not accepted any probation or anything. I was waiting for to go to court actually for another case.
Right. Courtney, do you see that he's on probation?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Arrest history says we
Was there an offer, Ms. Fusco?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Waples, at this time, I'm going to stay your bond at $500. And I'm not going to revoke your bond on your out on bond case at this time.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Williams Anthony.
I'm sorry, so tell me again.
Williams Anthony.
All right. Is Anthony your first name or your last name?
Williams Anthony.
You didn't answer my question.
First name Anthony, last name Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. You were arrested in 20 MM 4012 for loitering or prowling and resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Is there an offer for Mr. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, did you want to resolve your case today?
Yep.
All right. And then you have an out on bond form for disorderly conduct. Did you want to resolve that case as well?
Yep. Yes, I do.
All right. All right, sir. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, I don't.
Are you on probation?
No, I'm not on probation.
And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation.
What's that?
If you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, sir. Courtney, how many days does he have on the out on bond case?
7, Your Honor.
7, okay. Mr. Williams, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days in 20 MO 553. with credit for 7 days time served. And in 20 MM 4012, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for, okay. So my monitor's, today's Wednesday, right? June 3rd? Okay. My monitor says Thursday, June 4th. That's why I switched from the 3rd to the 4th because I thought I missed a day. Okay, so this is, he has 2 days in. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm going to sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. You are going to have to pay court costs in both cases. Those are going to be due by June 3rd of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. And then I keep looking up here and it says June 4th. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Jonathan Alvarez, Your Honor.
Mr. Alvarez, you were here for an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. It's related to a violation of probation for burglary of a dwelling. At this time, your bond is set at none. I will appoint the public defender to represent you so they can help you coordinate with Seminole County in the event that they're not transporting inmates between the counties.
Okay.
And I'll also reach out to the judge in Seminole County to see if they would like to modify your release conditions.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question.
Sure.
You said I have a burglary in Seminole County? That's the violation, or that's what I was on community control for?
This says you were on probation for burglary of a dwelling.
Yes, ma'am. I was on community control. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I just have a...
Did I answer your question?
I just have a violation is what you're saying, ma'am?
Yes. The teletype that I have, it just says there was a warrant for your arrest for violating your probation.
It doesn't say like I caught a new charge because I haven't left my house in 7 months and I only had 5 days of community control left and like I don't even know why I'm here.
I wish I had more information for you, but it doesn't tell me what the allegation is.
Can you like at least like tell me like what I should do in a situation like this? 'Cause I was about to complete this. I was almost done. I haven't violated or done nothing. And like last 5 days.
Yes, sir. You need to contact the public defender. I've appointed the Orange County public defender to represent you, even though it's a Seminole County case.
Yes, ma'am.
And they can help you get in touch with your lawyer in Seminole County.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a paid lawyer out there. Do I still keep that or I get?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know your relationship with a lawyer. I don't know what they are retained to represent you on. So again, your public defender here in Orange County can help you in contacting that lawyer.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Did I take that? Was that Mr. Colton? Oh, okay. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
How you doing, Judge? My name is Khalil Colton.
Mr. Colton, you were here for an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County for burglary of a dwelling. Your bond is $5,000. I'm going to appoint the Orange County Public Defender to represent you in the event that you're unable to post your bond, sir.
Repeat that, miss?
So your bond is $5,000 on a Seminole County warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with the case in the event you're unable to post your bond.
So I can't post bond?
You can.
Oh, all right. Is there any possibility that it can get lowered any little bit? Anything?
You're a lawyer. That's why I appointed you a lawyer, so they can assist you with that if needed. I don't have the authority to just lower it.
I'm trying to get out today. All right. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Ricky Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of Brevard County. This is related to racketeering and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Your bond on count 1 is $50,000. Bond on count 2, $3,500. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 through 17, your bond is $2,500. Sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case so they can help you coordinate with Brevard County. We will also reach out to Brevard County to see if the judge who issued the warrant would like to make any modifications.
Your Honor, I don't understand what's going on. I was just in jail. I got out February. I got a job. I had a background check and everything. And nothing ever came up. I don't understand where these charges are coming from. I don't even go to Brevard County.
Mr. Jackson, I don't have any additional information. Once you're transferred to Brevard County or your lawyer comes to see you, they'll be able to provide you with the factual basis for the warrant. They don't provide that to me when it's an out-of-county warrant, so all they tell me is what the charges are and what the bond amount is. So you need to call that number there to talk to a lawyer.
Am I actually going to be transferred?
That's also, I'm not sure. Given the COVID virus, we're kind of in a state of transition. And that is why I've appointed the Orange County Public Defender to help coordinate with Brevard County so that if any hearings need to be held, you can still have hearings here in Orange County.
Okay.
All right?
And what's my total bond again?
Oh my, I don't know. 35,000. So that's 85,000.
It's 122,500.
Thank you, Courtney. All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, no action.
And no action on out on bond. I'm sorry.
That's correct, Courtney, thank you. Sir, your name?
Joseph Kieran.
Mr. Kieran, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Indian River County. This is for a violation of probation. At this time, your bond is set at none. I will appoint the public defender to represent you here in Orange County to assist you in coordinating with Indian River County on your case, sir.
Okay. Is there any chance I could get a bond or no?
There is. So we'll actually reach out to Indian River County to see if they'd like to modify it. If they do, then we will bring you back to court. Otherwise, your lawyer here in Orange County is going to have to coordinate with Indian River County
Okay.
in setting a hearing.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Gregory Mead.
Mr. Mead, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Brevard County related to a violation of probation. Your bond is set at none. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, and that way they can assist you in coordinating with Brevard County on your case, sir.
Okay. And he has reporting requirements, Your Honor.
Yes, you understand, Mr. Mead, you have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
You have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I don't
Thank you.
understand why this says out-of-state warrant, book as fugitive of justice.
So everyone asks that question. It's just a header on the box on the arrest affidavit. It doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Mr. Mobley.
Mr. Mobley?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mobley, it looks like you're here for a violation of probation. Based upon your arrest in 20 CF 6792. There is probable cause for the violations of probation. The bond will be set at none at this time. I'm going to appoint the Orange County Public Defender to represent you to help assist you with your cases in Alachua County.
I just have one question, Your Honor. That's it.
Sure.
If I bond out on the charges here, will that expedite me to get back to Alachua County, Your Honor?
If they are transporting inmates, yes. So they will not come pick you up until your local charges are resolved.
But if I'm out on bond on these charges, they would have to come pick me up, correct?
That's right, because technically they'd be resolved.
That's
right.
what I'm asking. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, that's all
That's
I want.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. Your name?
Kenneth Molina.
Mr. Molina, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Manatee County. You're related to aggravated battery. Your bond is set at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with your case in Manatee County. If the judge elects to modify your release conditions, we'll bring you back to court and let you know what those new conditions are.
All right.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I got they did a background check for my job April, and nothing came back. And I got pulled over on May for driving with no license, and when they pulled me over, nothing came back. And this warrant just popped up out of nowhere. It's from 2015.
I can't answer that question for you, sir. I don't have any information about the warrant or the charge, so it's possible the warrant wasn't active when you got pulled over. So you have to talk to your lawyer about that.
They said it was active January, and I got pulled over on January for taking the cops on high-speed chase.
Yeah, I understand. I don't have any information about that, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark is bonded, Your Honor.
Mr. Clark bonded? Okay. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Atwell.
Mr. Atwell, you are here for allegedly violating your probation in two cases. You've got 2016 CF 16345. It is alleged that you violated your probation, sir, by failing to complete or remain in a drug or alcohol treatment program, and you were discharged from the STEPS program. Your bond is set at none.
There is
Your
no.
second. Pardon me?
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there is no way I can get a bond.
No, Mr. Atwell, you are a violent felony offender of special concern. So in order for you to get a bond, your lawyer has to file a motion and have that heard in front of the trial judge.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have 20 CF 6866, which is possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis. There's probable cause for those offenses. Bond on count 1 is 1,000. Bond on count 2 is 100. Thank you, Mr. Atwell. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Shamia Barker.
Ms. Barker, you have several cases this morning. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them. You have 15 CF 10282. It's alleged that you violated your probation. Based upon the arrest affidavit in 20 CF 6266, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for aggravated stalking with a credible threat and firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm, and criminal mischief. As I said, I'll appoint the public defender in all the cases. Bond on count 1, 5,000, count 2, 2,500, count 3, 1,000. Those facts provide the basis for the violations of probation in 15 CF 10566 and 15 CF 10282. Ma'am, those bonds will be set at none. On the violations of probation, you'll see Judge Whitehead in the next week.
There's no way that I could, because I have an injunction that those charges are actually false. He's been making reports on me, and I do.
So, Ms. Barker, I understand that, but I don't have the ability to adjudicate that issue today. And you are a violent felony offender of special concern, so you are not. I'm not even able to give you a bond, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Randy Hebner.
Mr. Hebner, you have two cases this afternoon. You have, and I'll appoint the public defender on both. You have 20 CF.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have a private attorney,
Oh, okay. Who is that?
Hugo DeBobian.
Okay, you are going to want to get in contact with Mr. DeBobian as soon as possible. I can reset your case for tomorrow if you'd like him to be present, or I can proceed with the hearing.
I'd like him to be present, ma'am.
All right, sir. So you don't have a bond on the violation of probation. today. So what I'll do is I will leave everything the same, allow you time to get in contact with him. I can also have my assistant email their office to see if they'd like to be present, and we'll bring you back tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
How you doing? My name is Deontay Jones.
That's a reset. You're Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were here for a violation of probation in 18 CF 8546. It is alleged that you violated your probation by moving without getting permission. Your bond, sir, is set at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You will see Judge Whitehead in the next week or so.
I'm hiring I think I have my same lawyer when I had last time, Miss Thomas Matthews.
Okay, have you hired them yet?
I think my girlfriend, she's paying him as we speaking. I think she already paid him some money, so I need to talk to her and see what's going on. Because I thought he was going to be here today.
I was wondering if there's a notice of appearance. Do you see one, Ann? You weren't looking. So, Mr. Jones, I'm going to keep the public defender appointed, and in the event that you hire the lawyer, they can file a motion to withdraw.
Okay.
All right, I just don't want you to sit here without a lawyer.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir, thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Deborah St. Charles.
Ms. St. Charles, you are here for a violation of probation in 17 CF 10274. It is alleged that you violated your probation by moving without getting permission. Or, I'm sorry, for failing to remain in the county in which you were instructed to remain, and that you did leave the county without getting permission. Your bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender. You're going to see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach before we begin the city and ordinances?
Sure. Do you need to take a break? Oh, okay. Well, wait 1 second. Sure, you make any argument you want. Sure. Got it. All right. Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Travis Adams.
Mr. Adams, sir, you were here in 20 MO 631. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I do not find probable cause. I know that the defense wanted to make an argument.
Yes, Your Honor. We're seeking outright release and not release on his own recognizance, given your finding of the no PC. And since there are no formal charges pending, Rule 3.133A4 requires outright release. And in addition, Your Honor, under Griglin versus Ryan, the 3rd District Court of Appeals said that outright release and not merely ROR release is required in these types of cases because it's a non-dangerous crime.
I would need to read the case and review the rule. I'm just not sure what the difference between outright release and ROR is.
Okay,
Could you explain that?
Sure.
Can you cite me the case again?
Yeah, sure. It's Griglin versus Ryan, 138 Southern 3rd, 1172.
Okay.
It's a 2014.
Griglin v. Ryan.
Yes, that's right. And so, Your Honor, because ROR is a form of pretrial release, we don't want them on any form of PTR, and instead, because you're making a finding of no PC.
Okay, so I think it's just an issue of terminology that's used, because it's always been my understanding that if there is no probable cause, the court can release the defendant ROR, but there could be no conditions of pretrial release related to the ROR. But the court in this case is just making the distinction of him being released without conditions, which is what I would do in any of these cases. If I ever release someone ROR, or the other term that they use was released from custody. I mean, I'm happy to use the terminology, they can be released from custody. There would be no conditions that I would impose on a finding of no probable cause.
Okay.
So I will use that terminology based upon that case that he is to be released from custody.
Okay, yeah, and so the order would not mention ROR?
No, you could just write defendant is released from custody.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to renew that the state is asking for ROR.
Well, it's the same. It's really the same thing. What this case is saying is that when a defendant is released from custody on a finding of no probable cause, you're not allowed to put pretrial release conditions. So I couldn't say to that defendant, I'm releasing you ROR, but you can't, you have to abide by a curfew, you have to take a drug test. You're not allowed to do that. So whether you call it ROR or straight release, the effect is the same.
Yes, we would concede to ROR with no PTR or conditions of any kind, but I'm just not sure the consequence of saying released from custody. It's tradition that we've always done ROR if there's no PC. So I would just ask that they be ROR as they always are.
All right, your objection is noted. I don't think so. No, the state has to establish probable, they can fight on it. Oh, yes, because normally on an ROR you do. Yes, for sure. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Ellen.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Chanel Bacino, bonded.
Okay. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Shantae Gooden.
What about, did Miss Broman bond? Broman did?
He bonded also, Your Honor.
She?
She, yes, I'm sorry.
Molly Broman? Okay, just want to make sure we're talking about the same person.
Caballero is ROR.
Okay.
Calvarisi.
Yes? Bonded?
Favis is also bonded.
Okay.
And this is Miss Gooden.
All right, Ms. Gooden, you were here in 20 MO 644. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. Is the state, and the court finds no probable cause, is the state and the defense relying on the same arguments?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is Ms. Gooden. All right, and Ms. Gooden will be released from custody. Ms. Gooden, you'll be given a court date upon your release, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I don't think that, I don't want to give them a court date. No, because there's a finding of no probable cause and no formal charges have been filed. I think based on this case, I can't require them to appear. That'd be a condition of pretrial release. So I'm not going to make them do that. The state will have to issue a summons for them to appear in court. Right, it says directly in the case that at his first non-adversarial probable cause hearing, the judge found there was no probable cause but released him on his own recognizance with the only condition that he return to appear in court the following month. And they said that that was not acceptable. All right. Thank you, Dexter. What's next?
Mr. Gorelet, bonded.
Okay.
Harden, bonded.
Pardon? Bonded?
Jackson Lane, bonded.
Okay.
This is Mr. Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, come forward, please. Mr. Johnson, you were here in 20 MO 634. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. The court does not find probable cause. You will be released from custody at this time. Sir, you may in the future receive a subpoena from the state of Florida to appear in court. And at this time, I am not going to take or revoke your bond on your Osceola County case.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have Mr. Moore here. We passed over earlier, Your Honor.
Yes, I have that here. Good afternoon, Mr. Moore. He was a felony, a regular felony.
Your Honor, this morning, it's my understanding they were filing because of a violation of probation also in this case.
I'm sorry, what?
He was on probation, and it's my understanding that as I was coming into court this morning, they were in the process of filing for a violation of probation based on this offense.
Do you have the warrant?
They were going to get that while I was...
Courtney, do you see a violation of probation?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
Okay. All right. This is 20 CF 6907. You were arrested for attempted aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer with a deadly weapon. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Your bond is $5,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Does that mean that I'm able to be bonded at this point?
It does, but between now and then, there could be a probation hold that is placed if they file an affidavit of violation of probation. And they still, even if you do bond out, your probation officer still may file a
Right.
violation of probation.
Right.
Okay?
I understand. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Emerson Just is bonded.
Okay.
Kowalski is bonded. Odom, bonded. Rulo, bonded. Santiago Dennis, bonded. Ulysses, bonded. And Danny Valencia, also bonded.
All right. That looks like all the cases that we have. And then we just have the 133-day motion. Ms. Fusco, were you ready to proceed on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and that's 20 CF 196 Luis Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor. And information was filed on June 2nd, filing ID 108253871.
All right, that'll be denied. Anything else before we go off the record?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll be in recess.
Have a good day, Judge.
Good afternoon. This is the Spanish interpreter.
And your name, Madam Interpreter?
This is Laura Arroyo.
All right, Ms. Arroyo, can the interpreter be heard at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is case 20 CF 1567. Ms. Ericina de Leon, the court has reviewed the police report and finds probable cause for the listed offense of battery by strangulation.
Esto es el número de caso 19CF1567. Señora de León, el juzgado ha estudiado el informe policial y determina que existen indicios de criminalidad para sustentar la acusación de agresión física por estrangulamiento.
Setting your bond at $750.
Se está fijando la fianza en $750.
You're to have no contact whatsoever with Grizzly Valentine. Just a moment. Grizzly Valentine Marrero.
Prohibido ningún tipo de contacto con Grizzly Valentín Barrero.
You're not to return to the location of 39 Lakeville Way in Kissimmee.
Prohibido regresar a la 39 Lakeville Way, Kissimmee.
If you have personal property at that location, such as clothing or toiletries, you may return one time with the assistance of the sheriff's office.
Si le quedan pertenencias en ese lugar, por ejemplo, ropa, enseres para el baño, usted podrá regresar una vez acompañado por un agente policial para recoger sus pertenencias.
That return would be for the sole purpose of acquiring personal belongings.
Poder regresar es para el único propósito de recoger sus pertenencias.
You must not possess any weapons or firearms.
Prohibido la tenencia de armas o armas de fuego.
I think I neglected to indicate the public defender is appointed in this matter.
Creo que me salté al indicar que que se le ha designado defensor público en este caso dado.
Your next court date to be provided.
Next court date on demand.
La próxima vista será dada. La próxima vista será por notificación.
Thank you.
Gracias. Good luck.
Mr. King, was that the only interpreter matter?
There are two others on my list. I have De Jesus Flores, that's the next one on the list, and then Ricardo.
Okay, let's do Ricardo Marrero first. Ricardo Marrero, coming forward.
TD approved.
Public defender appointed.
Que se acerca el señor Ricardo Marrero. Ha sido aprobado el defensor público y se le designa uno.
One moment, I believe Ms. Chelsea Keith is coming into the courtroom.
Okay, he actually doesn't need an interpreter. He doesn't need an interpreter. He did, but he doesn't.
Okay, Ms. Royo, if you'll wait on the line after this case, we're going to take up an interpreter case. This should not take too long.
No problem, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, if she could follow the deputy's direction.
Put your bag right there.
Good afternoon. Are you Ms. Keith?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Keith, I'm Judge Epperson. I'll return to you in just one moment. Ms. Chelsea Keith is present, and she can hear and see what's taking place. Public defender's appointed. Mr. Marrero, I have reviewed the police report. I do find, well, a probable cause has already been found because this was an arrest warrant situation. Count 1, aggravated assault. Count 2, battery. Before determining bond and any conditions that may be appropriate, Mr. Akendo, history?
Defendant has history going back to 2003, charges of assault on a minor that was no info, trespassing, total of 6 failure to appears, last failure to appear coming in July 2018 for a failure to display a registration. And we found an open case out of Orange County, a citation for no vehicle registration, case 19 CT 5004.
All right. I have reviewed the report myself. Ms. Keith, as the alleged victim in this case, you have a right to be briefly heard if there's anything you wish to say. Was there something you wish to say?
I mean, the report isn't fully accurate.
Okay,
And
if you could please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we got into a verbal disagreement, and I had let him take my son, and I didn't want to get in the car because we got in a verbal disagreement. So I started walking off, and he drove the car a little fast, and I thought he was attempting to hit me, but he pulled over and he parked in a parking spot. And the way I told the cops, they made it, I guess they assumed that I meant that he hit me, and he never hit me. I actually hit his car, if we're being honest. And how it all went down, I feel like it was all a misunderstanding, and I truly apologize about that, and I know, what's done is done. But in the moment, I guess I assumed that he was trying to hit me with the car, and now we actually had a discussion, and he told me I was just trying to park the car to give you the baby because I didn't want to take the baby when I was angry, and I just wanted to leave you and the baby at Burger King for you guys to relax, and I would come back later. But I didn't know that.
Okay, does the state have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Are you currently in fear of Mr. Marrero? If an incident were to occur, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Of course.
Would you call 911?
Of course.
Okay. Do you wish to have contact with him at this time?
Yes.
Do you all currently live together?
No, not right now.
And how old is the child that you all have in common?
He'll be 2.
Okay. No further questions?
Any questions from the defense?
Ma'am, are you afraid that the defendant might do something to you in the future?
No.
Okay, that's all we'd ask, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right, bond on count 1, the aggravated assault, will be $1,000. Bond on count 2 will be $500. And as a condition of bond, Mr. Marrero, for now, you must have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Chelsea Keith. You can talk to your lawyer about how that might be modified, but for now, no contact whatsoever, which means you must maintain a separate residence, of course. You must not possess any weapons or firearms. And your next court date will be as follows.
Next court date on demand.
You'll receive notice of your next court date. All right, thank you. All right, thank you for being here. Okay, now I do want to go to any other interpreter cases as Ms. Arroyo's waited on the line. So, Mr. King, that interpreter matter? Okay, thank you.
Mr. De Jesus Flores does need an interpreter.
Okay,
And he is PD approved.
public defender appointed.
Your Honor, can I please have the case number for
Yes.
Mr. Flores?
20 CF 1568.
Thank you.
All right. I have reviewed the police report, and I do find probable cause for the listed offenses before addressing bond matters. Mr. Okendo, history?
Defendant has local history going back to 2002. Charges of failure to appear, domestic battery, delinquency of a minor, distribution of marijuana, possession of cocaine. That last arrest coming in 2010, found guilty. And one arrest out of New York in 1998, possession of controlled substance and trespassing, found guilty on those. That is all, Judge.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. He estudiado el informe policial y determino que existen indicios de criminalidad. Antes de comenzar a enumerar los ilícitos indicados, tenemos algo que hablar con respecto a la fianza. ¿Cuál es el historial? Su historial penal se remonta al 2002. Tenemos aquí falta de comparecencia, agresión física, distribución de marihuana, tenencia de cocaína con un fallo de culpabilidad en 2010. En el 2008 tenemos sustancia regulada, entrada ilícita.
Bond on criminal mischief, count 1, $250.
La fianza con respecto a causar daños a propiedad ajena, que es el primer cargo, $250.
Bond count 2, burglary of a dwelling, will be $5,000.
Fianza con respecto al segundo cargo, que es entrada ilícitas de una de una morada con fines delictivos, $5,000.
Should you make bond, you must not return to the location of 2630 Liberty Boulevard in Kissimmee.
Si usted logra depositar la fianza, estará prohibido de regresar a la siguiente dirección: 2630 Liberty Boulevard, Kissimmee.
You must have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Lisa Diaz.
Prohibido ningún tipo de contacto en absoluto con la señora Lisa Díaz.
You must not possess any weapons or firearms.
Prohibido la tenencia de armas o armas de fuego.
Next court date as follows.
La próxima vista ante el juzgado será la siguiente.
Next court date on demand.
La próxima vista será por notificación.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, any other interpreter matters? I think not.
I don't believe so. If the interpreter could make an announcement.
¿Hay alguien más que requiere un intérprete? Si es así, levante la mano, por favor.
No hands, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. King, and thank you, Ms. Royo.
You're welcome. The interpreter will disconnect.
Thank you. All right, turning next to Victor Serrano,
PD approved.
public defender appointed. All right, Mr. Serrano, you've been arrested on a violation of probation warrant, the underlying charge DUI. It's case 19 CT 1166. Judge Arendis set your bond at 0 on this violation of probation, and it will remain 0. Again, the public defender is appointed, and your next court date as follows.
Next court date, June 11th in courtroom 4E at 8:05 a.m.
Your Honor, he has a private attorney. He's let me know.
Who is that?
Who's your attorney, sir? Castro. Julian Castro? Correct? No. Or no,
Joe.
Joe Castro? Joe Castro?
Castrofort, okay. Do you mean that you hired him originally, or that you've hired him for this violation of probation?
For both cases.
Okay, all right, then public defender's withdrawn. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jose Dupo,
PD approved. And the victim is outside.
public defender appointed, and we'll need to wait a moment. I believe that we have an individual coming inside from the public. Is it 2 of them? As far as tomorrow goes, it doesn't really matter to me whether they're over here. If it's easier for IT, then that's fine. I'm already in 5E, but I don't care. Yeah. Okay. We'll just stay in here. It's fine. All right, sir, your name? Okay, one moment while we wait for an individual to appear here. Good afternoon. Ma'am, if you could please state your name.
Christine Franceschi.
All right, Ms. Christine Franceschi is here, and she can see and hear what's taking place. If you look to your right, you can see Mr. Dupeau there. I'll come back to you in just a moment, Christine. I'll come back to you in a moment. All right, I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the 4 listed offenses, that being battery, count 1, battery on a law enforcement officer, count 2, battery by strangulation, count 3, and resisting a law enforcement officer, count 4. Before deciding bond and any appropriate conditions, Mr. Oquendo is here from Pretrial Release. Mr. Oquendo, history?
The defendant has 2 prior arrests, 1984 charges of larceny, forgery, altering public records. Those charges were dropped. And in June 2016, a domestic battery, which is the same victim as today, those charges were no problem.
Okay. Ms. Franceschi, as one of the 2 named victims, you do have the right to be heard today. If there's something you wanted to say, it's totally up to you. If there is something you wanted to say, we have to place you under oath. Did you want to speak today?
Yes, please.
If you could please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay. Now, the focus of this statement that you might make to the court would be in the context of the court deciding bond amount and any conditions of release, not so much about the facts of the case. But with that being said, what would you like the court to know?
I wanted to say that I know he has medical issues as well as probably does need some form of counseling. He has anger issues. 98% of the time, he's the greatest guy. But when you just set that off, he goes blind and loses his mind. Knowing that, as I said, I feel that he needs some type of counseling, not really jail time.
Okay. We have one of the assistant state attorneys from the state attorney's office present here in the courtroom. Were there any questions you wanted to ask of Ms. Franceschi?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Franceschi, did you call 911 in this situation?
I did.
Okay. And are you currently in fear of Mr. Dupeau?
Currently, no. He's not in the home, so currently, no.
Okay. Do you wish to have contact with him?
I would. It would probably have to be outside of the home because I would not let him back into the home.
You do not want him to return back to the residence?
No. He hurt my daughter, and that was always something that I was very adamant about. I could pretty much put up with anything minus that. So.
And the prior domestic incident involving him in 2016, were you the one who called 911 in that case?
No, actually I wasn't. That was a friend of mine that called.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. King, an assistant public defender, might have questions. I'm not sure. Mr. King?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, ma'am, but no questions.
All right. Thank you. All right. Having reviewed the police report finding probable cause, bond will be as follows. Count 1, battery, be $1,000. Count 2, battery on a law enforcement officer will be $1,000. Count 3, battery by strangulation will be $1,000. And the last count, resisting without violence, would be $500. Should you make bond, Mr. Dupeau, should you make bond, for now you're to have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Christine Franceschi. You're also to have no contact with Ms. Alexandra Wood. In addition, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're not to return to 2392 Caravel Circle in Kissimmee, Florida. If you have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing or items for work or toiletries, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for the exclusive purpose of acquiring those belongings. Otherwise, you're not to return. You can talk to your lawyer about possible modifications to these conditions, but for now, again, it's no contact whatsoever with either Ms. Christine Franceschi or Alexandra Wood. Your next court date as follows.
Next court date on demand.
You'll receive it. All right, thank you. All right, thank you for being here.
If I may ask, his vehicle is still at the house, and I don't know where his keys are. Many times in the afternoon, when it gets hot, his alarm starts blaring. If I could ask where those keys might be, that way I could avoid that and the neighbors yelling at me.
All right, well, you heard that, I assume. Ms. Franceschi's wondering where the keys are so that she can avoid
He
nuisance.
disconnects the battery, that way it just doesn't go off.
Your Honor, The keys are apparently in property here at the jail.
Okay. So you'd have to take that up with the jail, and since it's his property, I think he'd have to authorize, and in fact, might even need a court order, but I'm happy to sign a court order if that's what's put before me. All right. All right, thank you. Maybe you can get someone to help you disconnect.
He doesn't have any objection to her coming to get the keys if that matters for the court.
All right, so they're at the jail. Thank you, ma'am. Gregory McClendon.
PD approved.
Public defender appointed.
Your Honor, the defense does have a probable cause argument to make for the second charge.
Okay, I'll hear you make that argument then.
Okay, Your Honor, the defendant is charged with escape under Florida Statute 944.40. That statute reads, any prisoner confined in prison, jail, private correctional facility, road tramp, or other penal institution, whether operated by the state, a county, or municipality, or operated under contract with a state, county, or municipality, working upon the public roads, or being transported to or from a place of confinement, who escapes or attempts to escape from such confinement commits a felony of the second degree, punishable as follows. The punishment of imprisonment imposed under this section shall be consecutive to any former sentence imposed. Now, I'm limited in my resources here, so I wasn't able to look up any case law, but the fact that it says any prisoner confined, he wasn't yet a prisoner, he was just under arrest. And I don't know of any of the terms like prisoner in a prison, jail, private correctional facility, road camp, or other penal institution. He wasn't in any of those, he wasn't yet found guilty. And the second sentence, the punishment of imprisonment imposed under this section shall run consecutive. That implies that the person is already being punished in custody from the state, not just under arrest. Again, I'm not able to look up any case law here. All I have is the statute in front of me. So just based off of the wording of the statute, I don't know if this particular statute applies, but again, I admit I could be wrong.
State your response.
Your Honor, under Section 944.02, subsection 6, the definition of prisoner reads, any person who is under civil or criminal arrest and in the lawful custody of any law enforcement official, or any person committed to or detained in any municipal or county jail or state prison, prison farm, or penitentiary, or to the custody of the Department of Corrections. Your Honor, the facts of this case, based on the four corners of the affidavit, do meet the definition of prisoner under criminal arrest and the lawful custody of law enforcement.
Okay, just one moment.
The definition part of the statute is not in the statute book that I have. I don't know if y'all can see that over here.
Just a second.
So,
All right, based on the factual scenario that's been sworn to by Deputy Sayers, the defendant took flight after he was placed under arrest and was to be transported to the Osceola County Jail, not prior to the arrest. I wanted to look at that because that's a material factor in evaluating your argument. I I do find that there's probable cause to believe the defendant has violated Florida Statute 94440, finding that he had been confined and arrested and was in the process of being transported to a place of confinement at the time he escaped or attempted to escape. That statute is an endeavoring, violates the statute. In other words, an attempt or an escape. So I find probable cause. I understand your argument. With respect to the driving under the influence charge, actually, before I do that, Mr. Oquendo, history?
Judge, the defendant has one prior arrest in April 2019, a DUI. Those charges were dropped. This defendant does qualify for a direct release on the pretrial release, non-monetary. We'd like to entertain that.
Either side wish to be heard on direct pretrial release?
The state would object to direct pretrial release on the escape charge.
All right, Mr. McClendon, having found probable cause for the DUI, I'm setting your bond at $500. As a condition of release, it'll be subject to pretrial release supervision. You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or go to any bars. You're also not to possess, ingest, or consume any controlled substances without a prescription. With respect to the escape charge, I'm setting your bond at $500, and your next court date as follows.
Next court date for 2020, CT 1348. It's still in jail June 11th. It filed June 29th in courtroom 4E at 2:30 p.m. And for 2020, CF 1570 on demand.
All right, thank you, sir.
And, Your Honor, I know public defenders are appointed for all cases, but it was announced on this one as well.
Public defender is appointed on both charges, the escape charge and the DUI.
Thank you.
Turning next to case 20 CF 1571, Alicia Pierre Evans,
PD approved.
public defender appointed. Right. Good afternoon, ma'am. We're awaiting a member of the public to come into the courtroom here just a moment. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Judge Epperson, and your name?
Jasmine Pierre Evans.
All right, Ms. Pierre Evans, you are the named, the alleged victim in the case, and so you have the right to be heard today, and I'll address that in just a moment. Again, this is 20 CF 1571, State of Florida versus Alicia Pierre Evans. I have reviewed the police report. I do find that there's probable cause for battery by strangulation before determining bond and conditions of release. Mr. Oquendo, history?
No prior history, Judge.
All right. Ms. Pierre Evans, you have the right to say something today if you'd like. If that's your choice, we need to go ahead and administer an oath. If you could raise your right hand to be sworn, unless you didn't want to say anything.
Not necessarily.
Okay, all right. Do the state or defense, Ms. Pierre Evans is here, does the state or defense wish to ask any questions?
No questions from the state.
Your Honor, the defense would have a brief question or two.
Well, she hasn't actually testified, I guess, so
It was just going to be about where she's going to live, because the defendant has indicated to me that the alleged victim won't be living at the address.
okay, the address of the alleged offense is 301 Dieppe Place in Point Siena. Is that your residence?
Yes.
You intend to still live there?
No, I'm in the process of moving.
Okay. Did you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor, we heard that.
All right. I'm setting bond in this case in the amount of $500, And Ms. Pierre Evans, if you post bond in this case, the following conditions of release apply. You must maintain a separate residence from Ms. Jasmine Pierre Evans. You also must have no contact with Ms. Jasmine Pierre Evans. No contact would prohibit even third-party communications, emails, text messages. You simply cannot have any communications or contact for now with Ms. Jasmine Pierre Evans. For now, you must not return to 301 Dieppe Place in Poinciana, Florida. However, I will permit a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for the purpose of acquiring personal belongings such as clothing, toiletries, or tools for work or trade. You also must not possess any weapons or firearms. Anything else from the state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, what was the dollar amount on the bond, please?
$500.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Next court date on demand.
Gregory Limley,
PD approved.
public defender appointed.
Your Honor, he's a medical detox.
Mental detox?
Medical detox.
Oh, okay, I hadn't heard of mental detox.
No,
but-
no, sir.
All right, I misheard. Then we'll reset this for tomorrow. Okay, thank you, officer, appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Y'all could use that from time to time. Casey Rodriguez,
PD approved. And the victim is on, Your Honor.
public defender appointed.
I'm here, Judge.
Okay, just one moment. We have someone who's going to be entering the courtroom. I believe it's Ms. Iris Rivera. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Your name?
Iris Rivera.
All right, Ms. Rivera, I'm Judge Epperson, and if you look to your right there, you can see Casey Rodriguez. You're the named victim in the case, Ms. Rivera, and therefore you have the right to be heard today, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. All right, again, this is 20 CF 1572 and 20 MM 1313. I've reviewed the police reports. I do find probable cause for aggravated assault in CF 1572 and battery under the misdemeanor case. Before determining appropriate bond and conditions of release, Mr. Okendo, history?
Defendant has history going back to 2005, charges of domestic battery, failure to appears. In 2015, battery on Leo, those charges were dropped. She has an open case for Osceola County for domestic battery, case 2020 MM 1038. And the victim for that case is the same victim as today.
All right, Ms. Rivera, you do have the right to be heard today if you wish to speak. Would you like to say something today?
Yes.
If you could please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I thank you for letting me speak. This is my daughter, and I love her very much. But it's been 13 years of this, and I can't anymore. I don't have the strength anymore, but I also love her, and she needs help. She's a psychiatric patient, and she needs help. And it's like my hands are crossed, because I don't know what to do for her anymore. All the programs we put her in, they kick her out. What do we do? I just want her to get help. I love her. She's my daughter. But I'm diabetic. I have high blood pressure. I don't have the same strength anymore. My legs are black and blue. We're fear for our lives now in the house. We have to hide all the knives. I only have one knife in the house. She stabs herself. She, hears voices that are telling her to kill everybody, kill herself. And It's just overwhelming. And I just really want her to get help because we love her.
State, do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ma'am, your husband, Hamlet Reynoso?
Yes.
He was the victim of the incident that occurred.
He was arrested.
Okay. And this was from 2 days ago?
Yes.
Okay. And then you are the victim in the case where she did have the no contact order, but she was staying at the house? Okay. And you testified that you were in fear for your lives of her? Do you wish to have contact with her?
Like I said, she's my daughter.
Okay.
I wish to continue being in her life, but she needs help. She needs support. She needs to be put somewhere where they can really help her. You know, they take her in, Park Lakes takes her in for 2-3 days. They let her out. It continues. She needs long-term help. And as you can see, I mean, it's like 10 cops, and it's like a strength that she gets that no one can control her. And I'm afraid that not only us getting hurt, but if she's put in a shelter or she goes anywhere, she will hurt someone. And at the same time, she could get somebody will hurt her because they won't understand her situation, her problem.
And ma'am, you did testify, I just want to follow up that you testified that your legs were bruised, black and blue. Is that from injuries that she has caused you? Okay. And just for the record, she's lifting up her pants legs to review a few bruise marks on her legs. No further questions from the state.
Mr. King, did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, this is filing the proper motion.
All right. I do want to correct the record. Earlier I spoke of the ag assault and battery as being under 20 CF 1572 and 20 MM 1313. Actually, both of those charges are under 20 CF 1572. There's a separate case in 20 MM 1313, and that's an allegation of violation of a pretrial release condition on a domestic violence case. There was a no contact order in place, and I understand that you allowed her to come into the home based on the police report I read, but that is there is probable cause, however, for a violation nonetheless. Mr. Oquendo, you're here from pretrial release based upon the testimony you've heard concerning mental health concerns. You have any?
Judge, at this point, with the open case that she's out on bond, on PTR already, with this new law violation, she won't qualify for any pretrial release supervision.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Having found probable cause, I'm setting your bond on the aggravated assault charge at $5,000. On the battery charge, I'm setting it at $1,000. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact whatsoever right now with Ms. Iris Rivera. No contact means none. No third-party communications, emails, or text messages. You'll have to talk to your lawyer about possible modifications, but for now, you can't have any contact. Also, you're not to return to 4901 Lillian Black Road. If you have personal belongings there, such as clothing or toiletries or other necessary items, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for the purpose of getting those belongings. You're also not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or go to bars. You're not to possess, ingest, or consume any illegal substances or any controlled substances unless they are prescribed. However, you do have to take all prescribed medications as a condition of your release. You're also not to have any contact whatsoever with Hamlet Reynoso. Turning next to 20 MM 1313, violation of a pretrial release condition on a domestic violence case. Your bond in that case will be $1,000. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Iris Rivera. You're not to return to 4901 Lillian Black Road with the exception of an assist order where the sheriff's office may assist you in obtaining personal clothing or toiletry items. All right, Ms. Rodriguez.
Sir, my question was about my property, my wallet, for me to set myself free, my bond. Is it okay if I have my sister set the bond for me? Like, pay the bondsman for me because my property's still in Iris's house.
You can talk to your lawyer about that. I've set the amount of bond, but third-party persons can assist you in making bond. And again, I'm going to let you direct those questions to your lawyer. All right, your next court date, Casey, your next court date is as follows.
Next court date for 2020, CF 1572 on demand, and for 2020, MM 1313, if still in jail, June 11th. If filed June 29th in courtroom 4A at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you for being here.
Action on 20 MM 103.
On which case?
20 MM 103, that's the case she's out on bond with PTR.
Just a moment. State wish to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor.
Defense wish to be heard on that, about the fact that the defendant was out on bond when these offenses allegedly occurred?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have anything to say. We'll likely be filing a notice of incompetence. And,
Right. I'm going to take the unusual step of foregoing action in that matter. This was a situation where the parents invited her back into the home and were providing for her needs based upon the COVID virus. All right, thank you. But thanks for...
Just for the record, we were appointed the public defender to the violation of PTR.
I couldn't hear you.
We were appointed to the violation of PTR, correct?
Yeah, you were appointed on both cases today.
Yeah, I know we're appointed to everything, but I just want to...
Thank you.
I appreciate it. That's all for everyone here, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.